What's up, YouTube? This is Reggie from Toxic People 101. I want to share this story with you when I was about 19 years old. Okay, right now I'm 54, so you know that is like many moons ago. I met this girl. I was in the service. We thought everything was going well. She came from which we all have some negative in our childhood life, but she really came from a broken home. Okay, and then as though I identified with her pain or related with her pain, I wanted to fix her. I wanted to show her that we could build something together. We could move on and become this great couple, you know, by loving each other and doing for each other. Throughout our whole relationship, even before we got married, she was doing some things that I overlooked. I thought I was in love and I was blinded by just wanted to save her, and I was blinded by, you know, just trying to get her out of her situation. I allowed a lot of things to happen. Before the war, we got married. I was giving her everything and doing all my duties. I was devoted to my vows. Okay, regardless of what she was doing, I made this promise to, you know, to the world, to God, to her, to myself, that I'm going to be the best man I can possibly be in the relationship. And I know a lot of you guys can identify with that. And it was painful. I had to go through that. But what really saved me, and a lot of people might not look at it this way, but what really saved me is that once I got my separation time, because I had to go to the war, and it took me about 10 months. And during the service, anybody know if they was in the service, that the Marine Corps, or I know in the Marine Corps, you're going to take care of that dependent. Regardless of what goes on, they will move you back in the barracks. They will give her the house. If you have kids with her, they're going to do whatever they got to do to make sure she's okay, because that's your dependent, and you brought her out here, and you got married to her, and you're going to take care of her. Okay. So what I was doing out of my paycheck, I was giving myself, Marine Corps would do this, what they would give her the whole paycheck and would give yourself $50 a month, right? For toiletries, for hair products, or clothes like underwears or whatever. Okay, you're going to take care of that household. Okay, you're the man of the house. You want to take care of that household. That's their philosophy, right? So anyway, fast forward, things still wasn't going right. In the back of my mind, I knew I had to get away. It felt like I was trapped. I couldn't walk away from her because I always come back and everything. This was going on for maybe 2 to 3 years, right? But once I was forced to leave, once I was forced to go to the war, and had that 10 months of separation time, and I mean, this woman would constantly lie. Even when I got back, she was saying things like, oh, I'm pregnant. When I came home, I was a totally different person. But then so I allowed her to lie to me, to catch in lies and go out with guys and do all these terrible things, because I allowed that. She thought, and she was comfortable enough to tell me anything, and she thought that I will, you know, basically accept whatever she tell me, and which I did, you know, because I wanted this to happen. I wanted us to build on something. I didn't want to be a failure in my relationship. I didn't want to be a failure in my marriage, okay? But the time that I had away from her, I analyzed things and I went through it. Now I'm not so much in an emotional state. I'm more thinking logically, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about it, and I said, I cannot bring this type of woman home to meet my mother. One thing we have to do when we're breaking it off, or we know things about the end, we don't want to accept the fact that things will about to end soon. So what we do, we try to hold on to it, and they will continue lying to us, and we try to hold on to it, hoping they'll change, and they will never change. They have to change for themselves and not for you, especially when they're getting everything. You're getting the money, you're getting the house, you're getting a car, you're getting the entertainment. You don't have to work. You going out with your friends. And remind you, if I'm 19, she was like 18. So we're basically teenagers trying to live this adult life, right? So she said she was pregnant when I got back from the service. So I was like, okay, how many months are you? And she said that she was 2 months pregnant. I said, well, you need to find a father because there's no way I could be the father because I only been home for 2 weeks. You know, this is like April. I came back from the war, April Fool's Day. This is crazy. April Fool's Day in 1991, right? We came back. And around April 15th, she told me that she's pregnant. All right, 2 months. She 2 months long. I said, oh, wow. So throughout all this, you know, knowing that it's a possibility, because she really wasn't showing, it's a possibility that she was pregnant. I knew deep down inside it wasn't mine. I didn't even try to accept that responsibility because that would have been my first child. And I know damn sure, like I said, I'm thinking logically now, more logical than emotional. I only been home for 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? And within them 2 weeks, we really wasn't doing anything. That's one thing that people have to understand. When you're trying to break off with someone, you have to cut spiritual ties with that person. Meaning that once you have intercourse with a person, once you have sex with a person, you become one person. You become one individual. And whatever spirit, you might not believe this or not, but whatever spirit was negative or positive, good, evil, whatever, that spirit can intertwine with your spirit. And all this baggage that this person is having with them can really come into your life and destroy your life. You know, we're talking about spiritual energy, right? But I knew I had to break that off. So long story short, about the service part, is that I got out that June. And even the day I was leaving, I said, I'm going to go. Something was wrong with my transmission. I went to get some transmission oil. And I came back in the house. I was gone no more than 10 minutes. She didn't say anything about her leaving or anything. She ended up leaving out the house. So I don't know, was she saying goodbye to her friends or whatever, but it was something else going on. So I said, okay, fine. I deal with this for too long, right? I know a lot of you guys have longer history of abuse and trauma bonding and everything. And I know that mine was maybe a year or two, regardless of whether it was a long period of trauma bonding or a short period of trauma bonding. It's bonding. It is too much. Trauma bonding can really destroy you. It can take you down. It could suck you up. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, now fast forward. Now I left California, left her there. I got my divorce papers and everything. Before I left, I did all the paperwork I needed to do to detach myself from a person, right? I'm a firm believer in once a person become an ex, just like in math, they become unknown to me. I don't want to hear about, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to hear about what's going on in your life. I don't want you to know anything about me. You fall off the face of the earth with me. You know, some people could be friends with their exes and stuff. And I tried this many times, but it always go back to our relationship. Either they can't get past it or I can't get past it. So because we never had a long separation time where as though we could experience other things and we could go on in life and then we could try to move forward past what we had. But a lot of time people don't want to do that because they always had questions in the back of their head about this and about that in a relationship. Okay. So moving forward, this is years later. I'm talking about at least maybe 12 to 15 years later. Right. And remind you, I have a friend that used to date her friend. So my friend got back in contact with her friend. So they start talking or whatever, rekindling, whatever they rekindling. You do you. So they called me up on the three-way. Right. And I was excited to I'm in a different space. I'm not trying to hold no animosity towards nobody. You know, that was my past. I'm in a different headspace now. I was excited to talk to both of them. So she started to question me about my relationship with my ex. This is important. She started running down all these things about what she was doing, what my ex was doing, how she was playing me. And I can't see how you dealt with her. I can't see how you did this and did that, right? Trying to make me feel bad about the things that I've done, right? And this is what's important. when you're dealing with a toxic person. Whenever you doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, because you're only responsible for yourself. So whatever you're doing the right thing, don't feel bad about that, and do not allow other people to make you feel bad about you doing the right thing. It's just that you're loving the wrong person, okay? It's because that we don't tend to value who we are as a person. We don't tend to put a value on our character and how we are, and we get caught up in these toxic people, and we try to change these toxic people. They're not going to change. They're definitely not going to change for you, okay? And okay, fine. She played me. She did whatever. She cheated. She did. Oh, she bounced checks. She wrote checks. She took all my money and all this stuff. But think about this. She could have all the materialistic things, because one thing about God, He will bless you 10 times more. You see what I'm saying? If I'm continue holding on to her and try to continue making things work, I'm missing out on something else. In order for new things to come on your plate, you have to get rid of some other things. It's just like if you go into a cookout and you going down the line and you putting all this food, and you halfway down the line, your plate is full. There's nothing you could do but get rid of some of the stuff that's on your plate to go back and get more, or for new things to arrive in your life or on your plate. You see what I'm saying? And once I understood that, I realized that she had to get out my life so the right person could come in my life. I had to stop focusing on her. So I told the girl, I said, what is your point of telling me all the stuff of what she did? Okay? Because at this point, it's just like a judge. The prosecutor or the defense can present evidence, right? The judge can look at the evidence and get to 1/3 of the evidence, or a fraction of the evidence, and say, you know what? I've seen enough. You don't have to go through everything. And that's what I'm saying about your relationship. You don't have to know everything what this person did to you. You'll run yourself crazy trying to figure out everything about this person. It should be 1/3 or whatever is enough for you to realize and make a decision about moving on. So when she was telling me all these things, I said, what's the purpose of you telling me these things? First of all, you her friend, okay? So you're betraying her by telling me these things that happened 15 years ago. And if you was really concerned about my well-being, you should have told me then. But see what it was, my ex was turning on her. So therefore, what people do, especially toxic people, what they do, when they're going against you, they team up with your enemy, okay? And that's what she was trying to do. She trying to get me to team up with her to go against my ex. I said, that's my past. She's unknown to me. I don't care what she do. I moved on. I'm living the best I can in my life. I'm doing the best I can. I'm raising my kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's like she has nothing to do with my life. Why are you saying these things? Because I don't see how you could do that. I don't see how you do that. I said, first of all, we was married. Second of all, I took my vows as sacred to me, and I took them seriously. Now I can't help it she didn't hold her end of the bargain. I can't help it she didn't take her vows as serious as I did. But you know what? When you walk away from someone, not get no revenge, when you sit there and accept the fact that things is the way they are, and you need to move on and stop focusing on that person that's continuously hurting you and continuously dragging you down, you move on. You see what I'm saying? They will regret the fact that they lost you. Trust me, they will. They regret the fact that they lost you. And a lot of things what she was saying, I might have had some questions about our relationship. I'm not saying that I didn't, because I'm human. And she answered for me without even telling me, without even knowing that she was answering these things for me. And it's fine. And I said, okay. Oh, okay, that's what was going on at that time. Okay, that was what was going on at that time. But you know what? That's my past. I did exactly what I supposed to do as a husband for my wife, regardless of what she did to me. I'm not going to dwell on the fact, oh, she dogged me out, she did that. I already cried. I already did all the pain. I already went through all the suffering and everything. I'm not going back down that road. That's my past. That's behind me. I'm not looking back. But one thing that she told me, oh, when you left her, she didn't think you was going to leave. That's another thing. They don't think you're going to leave. These toxic people do not think that you will ever leave them, okay? But you have the decision. You have the power to leave. Regardless of what they say or what they do, you have a choice. You have the power of choosing whether to stay or whether to leave, okay? You're going through this because you're going through the turmoil and the trauma, and you're sacrificing yourself to a person who don't care. That's a choice, and I'm trying not to be hard, but it is what it is. You're choosing to be with this person. You're allowing this person to have this control over you, and you have to take that power back because you have to know your worth. If you don't know your worth, then they're allowed to tell you what you're worth. When you go in the store, you see some jeans that's $200. You can't go in there and say, "Oh, these jeans is worth $20." They're gonna tell you, "Are you crazy? These are so-and-so jeans. These are whatever name they're gonna give you, designer jeans, this and this and that." You cannot tell a designer what their product is worth. Either you're gonna pay for it or you're not. You see what I'm saying? Either, you need to know your worth. And some people cannot afford you. And you got a bunch of negative and toxic people in your life that can afford you. They're not worth being in your presence, to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything like that, but you have to understand that you give yourself to the wrong people. A lot of times we give ourselves to the wrong people. We be in the wrong company, and they don't need to be in our presence. And that's not being arrogant. It's just that, like I say, these people, they don't know what you're worth. They just you just something that they play with. You just a toy on the shelf that they collect your soul and they put you on the shelf for dust. And you trying to be with this person who don't care about you. The newness is worn off. You're just like the rest of the toys in their collections. The rest of the souls in their collection. Okay, boom. Who else I could get? What drive a lot of people is the thrill of having something new. It's the thrill of being in love. It's the thrill of the newness of all this relationship and love and stuff. And over a period of a time, once they get the prize, like a lot of men would do, then they lose interest. Once a woman gets your heart and control you or whatever, they lose interest. And I'm not trying to make it a male or female thing, because it could be either or. You know what I'm saying? It could be the female who lose interest after she get you. Look at the Black Widow. The Black Widow had sex with the male partner and then kill it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really, I'm not trying to make it male-based or female-based. It's both gender. We're just talking about toxic people, and that could come in any shape or form: a boss, a friend, a family member. Sometimes you can be toxic, even towards yourself. You know what I'm saying? And we always have to try to find a way to make ourselves better. But once I basically told her friend about everything, then she started coming out with this and that and how she played me, how she did this and did that, and I'm like, I'm cutting her off because I don't want to hear this mess. What you telling me for? I didn't call you guys, period. You called me. I'm thinking you just calling me to see how I'm doing in my life, or maybe you trying to see how much, like an arson, right? What an arson would do, an arsonist would do, they would light a fire to something, right? Would be a building, say a building. They would light a fire, and then when the flames get all out of control, the fire department coming, people screaming and stuff, and they be in the crowd and mind their work. You know what I'm saying? How much damage I done. You see what I'm saying? And you have a lot of people, especially toxic people, that would they want to admire the damage that someone else did to you, or they want to admire the damage that they done to you. So they hoover you, they come back and how's things going? Because they want to see how far down that rabbit hole you allow them to pull you. You know what I'm saying? And when she realized that I'm a strong person, that I'm a strong-minded person, I'm like, hey, she missed out, and she regret everything that she done to me. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't get no I don't get no praises from that. I don't get no gratitude from. I don't get no excitement from her missing out. It's just that you missed the shot. You missed your shot. Game over. It's time for you to practice and get back into your skills. Improve on your skills. Improve on yourself to look for this other person that you're willing to go into a relationship. Learn from your mistake. Learn from your past. If you realized that she did these things wrong to me, maybe it's something that she need to change. And I'm not going to sit here and say I was such a perfect person, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't cheat it. I didn't never call her out her name. And she could never find nothing. Only thing I wanted to do is love her and give her the best I can give her. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm in a great relationship. My kids is grown. Everything's going great in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I constantly practice on being a better person. And that's what you have to do. You have to know your worth. You have to walk away. You have to cut them off. You have to go no contact. Because that's very important. And think more logically instead of emotionally. You know, compare the two. I love this person and I want to be with this person. But what is, by me loving this person, what is it doing to me? Is it advancing me? Is it helping me move to the next level? Or is it bringing me down? Then you make your decision from that. If you're moving up with this person, then it's worth it. If you're going down, then you have to cut it off. You have to cut your losses. Stop holding on to these bad stocks in your life. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, their stocks is some bullshit. And we continue putting good money behind bad investments, bad stocks, bad companies. You know what I'm saying? And that's the simplest thing. And I approach life like that. Is I'm putting good money, my time, my effort, my energy into a bad investment. Okay? At the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You invest in people, just like people invest in you. And is it worth me investing my time and energy into this person? And if it's not, cut your losses short. You want short losses. They say high gains, short losses. You know, buy low, sell high. You want to cut your losses short. Because if you keep having all these losses, then you're going to get into the mind frame of hoping things get better, and you keep holding on to that person. And you keep holding on to this bad investment, and all you're doing is bringing yourself down more and more and more. Then next thing you know, 6 months later, you're still in the same situation. A year later, you're still in the same situation. 5 years later, you're still in the same situation. 10 years later, it go on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? And this person has not changed because you're allowing this person to continue being who they are in your present, and you don't know your value. Once you learn your value and you realize, man, how many times you thought about this as you broke up with someone? Why in the hell I stay in that relationship? It wasn't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, man, and then you feel stupid and you feel kind of crazy. Like, I can't believe I allowed this person to do this. Yes, you allowed this person to be who they are in your presence. Let them be who they are somewhere else, not in your presence, not in your company. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this video was educational. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it helped you out. You know, I love doing these videos. I'm definitely going to do more. But this time, this is something personal to me, to let you know that I understand what a lot of people are going through, and don't think that she was the last person that hurt me, because trust me, I got hurt many times after that, but not to this extent. You know what I'm saying? And actually, I would say because she was this type of person, and she kept living this type of life and she never learned her lesson, a lot of tragic things had happened to her way after me. You know, and I don't know whether she called me to let me know this about the tragic part and start bringing up other things in our past. I don't know, but I moved on. You know, I feel bad that she chose to live this type of lifestyle, but it has nothing to do with me. You choose your path. I chose my path. They choose their path. And you make the best out of your situation. You know, whether it be negative or positive, you can always find a positive in something. Hold on to the positive. Don't let a grudge be your downfall. You know, Buddha say this. I'm gonna leave you with this. Leave you guys with this. Buddha say, when you hold a grudge, it's like you drinking poison and hoping they die. Think about that. They moved on. They living their life. They going on with their life. They doing whatever. They hurting other people or they loving other people. Whatever they doing, they living their life. While you still thinking about the relationship and you're not making room for the blessings to come on your plate, for new things to come into your life, and you holding on to that, and you holding on to that grudge. I can't believe you dogged me out. I can't believe this and this and that. And you're stuck. You're in a stagnant state. Understand it, let it go, and continue to move on. This is Reggie from Toxic People 101. Hit that like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will bring you guys more stories in the near future. Thanks for listening.